celebrate International Work Safety and Health at Work Day 2024, and we are so delighted to have in the studio some great men that will be telling us what we need to know about safety and health at work. My name is Nonya Mokoye, and I've been joined this morning by two engineers. We have two engineers in the studio. By my immediate right is engineer Dr. Martin Abele, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth Development, a public servant engineer, and of course is also a certified investigator, instructor, disaster risk managers, as well as fire and safety management consultant. And I will not fail to still call him Ezoko. It's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much.
It's good to
Thank
have
you.
And this is the first time I'll be having you as the Permanent Secretary
in
the Ministry of
Youth Development.
Youth Development. You're welcome to
Thank you.
All right, I also have the honor to welcome Engineer Fimba Ajewu, is the Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers, Anambra State Chapter. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. I'm really pleased to be here.
All right, and I'm so delighted to have you as the first timer here.
Pleasure is all mine.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, now let me start with Engineer Abele. When we talk about safety and health at work, you know, this year actually was, this day was created, you know, to every year to promote the prevention of occupational accidents and diseases globally. And what came to my mind was, our people generally, our attitude as Nigerians, do we actually know that there is, you know, are there laws or safeties at workplace? Do we have that understanding as a people?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, the issue of safety have been there, especially this day, have been set aside for this, to remember safety. Of course, when you look at the theme for this year, which is 2024, that's ensuring safety and the health for workers and the changing climate. You look at it, you see that every day by day, in Nigeria, things are growing, things are changing. And I must tell you, people are beginning to understand the importance of safety in all we do, especially in the working places. So I must tell you, we are doing that. And workers everywhere, of course, they are recognizing the issue of safety in their workplaces. So it's growing. Before now, it's not like that. Even OSH, in Nigeria also, it has been instituted in one of the ministries in Nigeria, and they are growing. Like you called the chairman, Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers, they are making sure also that everything about safety is being installed wherever the workers are.
I ask this question. We know that most times when you want to visit a construction site, for instance, you know, even if you're a governor or whoever you are, even if you're not an engineer, there are some safety measures you're supposed to put on before going in there. Then there are some people that work in some, for instance, in media houses like this, there's a place where engineers stay. There are things they are supposed to put on while working there, but you don't seem to see those things. You know, that's why I ask whether our people are really aware that these things need to be there. Come in, please.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. The pleasure is all mine to be here for the first time. Like the legendary fire chief, which I prefer to call him, he has highlighted on safety. I would want to give you a background why that day was set aside. Okay. The International Labour Organization thought it very wise that workers need a day where they will be remembered for their safety and welfare. And there's no other better day than 28th of April 2003. That was when they all sat down and agreed. Several countries put together. So the ILO sat and said, okay, let's have 28th of April every year to become a World Safety and Health Day. The essence is basically that you can't achieve any successful labor in manufacturing, in production, in success of institutions without having a very good labor force that is stable, that is robust, that is willing to deliver the best 247, zero lost time hours, anytime they put in their efforts to get things done. So that day was special to see that safety becomes a tradition, not just at workplace, because you can, traditionally, your kitchen is your workplace, your studio is your workplace, your office is your workplace. So wherever you find yourself, that you can deliver some good services to the best interests of people and improve the well-being of people, that is a place where you should consider safety first before any other thing around you. So you ensure that whoever is around you, is he safe, is she safe? Children in schools, are they safe? Whatever they're playing with, are they safe at it? Because our eyes, especially for children, our eyes must be very close to them because we don't know what they play with. And children are very good at exploring. So when they explore this and that, you parents being around, you can help guide and direct them that these things are safe and this is not safe. So that is the very essence of World Safety Day. And we hope that going forward, many institutions, many parastatals, governments, and all others will partner and see that safety is a priority.
All right. Now, I don't know, is there any law, in place to ensure that if you're working, like, let me use Ezoko as a point of contact here. If you're working as a fire service person, that if you don't put on so and so, you won't do so and so. Is there any law like that, Martin?
Yes, there is. And that is why when you go to companies, especially these construction companies you mentioned before now, there are laws. When you find out, in fact, is among civil servants that you may not really see this safety impact. Why I said you may not really see it, because some of the places you don't see them putting on their helmets and other safety gadgets. But once you mention something like fire service, you mention construction companies, once you are getting in there, the first thing you see is what? Safety first. And you must note, even when you are not told, then you must notice it and feel it. Now, when you look at fire service, in fact, let me tell you, recently, before I left the office to the ministry where I am now, what Mr. Governor did in Anambra State, especially to the fire service, is making sure all the safety gadgets which they wear to go to fire are in place. Why did he do that? Because of the safety of firefighters who will be doing what? Fighting the fire anywhere. Now, he made it mandatory that anybody he sees, because he provided even the fire suit, the helmet, the safety boot, and everything. Make sure that you are putting on those things before you venture into any firefighting operation. So that is that. That is safety. That is considering the safety and the welfare of the firefighters. Now, when you go to construction companies, you must notice it. Every one of them will always have their helmet on their head. You must put on your safety boots. You must wear that. Then, depending on where you're working, your hand glove must also be there. Must. All these things are must. There are laws that concern it. And once you err, then you'll be dealt with. So the fact remains that every serious company doesn't make that mistake. Because if anything happens to any of the workers, that is when you know that the law guiding safety, that is for safety, is very serious. Because even the worker can sue you, which is the company, because you didn't provide anything for them. So that is a must. The law is there for everybody to be guided. But sometimes, I must tell you, some of the workers doesn't prefer to put on these things. That is why sometimes you have accidents. Yeah, you have accidents in these companies sometimes. Let me tell you, sometimes even firefighters may not even, because sometimes if you are not good at that, once you are putting on that, it will be inconveniencing you. Imagine asking somebody who is riding Okada to put on helmet. Let me tell you, that thing is not easy even to wear it, because it will make you uncomfortable. But the fact is, it's safe. It will protect you against any odd. So, but workers sometimes doesn't want to put on those things, but it has been provided for. So what we are saying is, make sure you get these things done, because if anything happens to you along the line and you are supposed to do it, and because it has been provided for you and you didn't wear it, then you're on your own. You don't blame anybody. Then the law will equally be against you.
Okay, now can we look at the attitude of our people? Like he said, for instance, this helmet of a thing. You know that most motorcyclists, they don't use it. And even when Okada was much in our society, sometimes you see something like plate on somebody's head in form of helmet. You know, of course, that if anything happens, that thing will first of all hurt the person.
Yeah.
You know, but we know that there is a specially made helmet for motorcyclists. Though motorcycle is no longer, is not much around, but there are people that still use it, like in Nnewi, you know, it's their form of private transportation self for some women, you know, and you see people use those things. This attitude of, let me just go there and come, it's just, it doesn't matter, it doesn't really, you know, let me just, maybe in the process you might encounter accidents. What do you say concerning this attitude of our people? Because it is still here. I know that there are some people that go into transmitter room. I've not seen them wear anything, you know, because I've not seen them wear. You know, they say that if you go there without wearing, the thing kills you. That when you want to produce a child, you will not be able to have a child on your own. That is the effect. So, what do you say concerning this about the attitude of our people concerning their health and safety at work?
Yes, thank you. You pointed out a very critical area. It needs all hands on deck. Concerted effort, deliberate. It has to be deliberate, and in many cases, it must be enforced. If you come to a workplace, traditionally construction companies, like my colleague said, you find at the entrance rules of engagement into that company. You must follow them, and PPE is very important. Before you enter this entrance, you must have your personal protective equipment. You must kit on. Your helmet must be there, because there are a lot of things that are possible hazards to your health, to your physical well-being. So you must ensure that you keep these things on. That is why you find helmets available at the entrance. That is why you find coveralls available at the entrances of reputable and well-recognized companies that know that safety is topmost. That is why you find also access to safety boots, access to hand gloves, free hand gloves they can make available, access to even caps. If you're entering food manufacturing companies, they give you caps, you know, shower caps sort of, to cover up, and then you have your coverall. So our people have over time not seen the need, because that's the usual language. You are entering into a place that has a lot of hazards, you know, looking at you, staring at you in the face, and you're saying, you have to first of all, you save yourself first, and then you look towards that which God will do for you. So our people have not, we've not been enforcing, I won't say that, and the laws have not been apprehending and punishing, and the companies too as well have also taken advantage of it, because they have to commit to some budgeting. If they have to enforce such, they have to commit some funds to ensuring that these items are available for worker safety, and even people, visitors' safety as well. So I think one attitude is just the usual, you know, enforcement, one, and then the other thing is making, you know, setting aside funds from specific companies, and at the same time, the state government putting up respective companies, having constant meetings and discussions to see that this becomes a tradition for various places of work, and at the same time, to, you can say, use Igbo, the traditional, our basic language, to communicate constantly to these people in various places.
You know, for some time now, there are some values or some things that there's been advocacy on that should be started in our schools for our children to imbibe it, because you know, why I'm bringing this up is that let it become a norm. You know, part of us, or part of, in fact, who we are. You know, do you think it is doable, Martin? You know, and do you think, you know, to begin from maybe nursery school, primary school, secondary school, to have these things built into the school curriculum. You know, that it should be learned. Safety, because there's something, let me give an example. There's something that happened when my first son entered school. Okay. So I went to pick him from school. I bought mineral. Okay. So he finished drinking. I just wind down for him to throw it through the window. He said no. He said no. He dropped it on the floor
Safety culture.
until he got home. So do you think that is doable, and what we stand to gain as a people when we begin to, nurture these children from infancy?
Yes, very, very possible. Because I know then, as the fire chief in Anambra State, there's something I did. Although it's still on the pipeline, but I know someday it will come to actualization. I call it catch them young. Then it's very possible to have safety club in schools. To install safety club in all the schools is very possible. What we needed here is to liaise with the Ministry of Education, and this will be now spread to all the schools. And the installation will continue. We have the safety club every now and then, from the nursery to primary and to secondary. Because I remembered those days what they do, we go to schools to educate them and sensitize them. Sometimes they will come on excursion to my office then, and we will teach them as well to sensitize them. And that's to create that awareness, safety awareness to them. So I'm still saying also that it's still very important in the curriculum of schools that safety culture must be added. With the inclusion of that safety culture, then when you have the safety club, that will now normalize everything. And you see that every now and then, the children, the pupils, all of them, the students, all of them will now be conscious of what? That safety. Like the story you just told, they learned those things from what they teach them from the school. And it's very important for us to know that it's not just only in school, even at home. Because there are a lot of things you have to do. Even in our families, parents, you must have to develop that safety culture. What you have to insist. Get the list of what to do and what not to do. The do's and don'ts of safety. Keep it. Let the children know it. And at the end of the day, they always imbibe by that. So it's very possible to have this thing in school. It's just a matter of time. Maybe the institution moving forward to meet and discuss with the Minister of Education, and this thing will be there. The safety culture will be installed, and it will continue that way. That is why I call it catch them young. And anything you teach children, they don't forget. And then it's just like in the house, you look at children will be looking at you, you'll be cooking. You don't know they are watching you. That is why sometimes they'll go into what? Go to what? Put on to practice what they've learned from you, either in the gas cooker and everything. And if care is not taken, if the safety is not there, then it becomes a problem because they watch and they learn very fast.
Okay. Now, I don't know, when we talk about promoting the prevention of occupational accidents and diseases globally, which is the aim of this day, that's Day for Safety and Health at Work. What best way do you think this could be done? Maybe in offices, in companies, wherever people work.
Okay.
What are the ways, to promote this prevention of occupational accidents and diseases?
Yes, thank you very much. Going back to what he just said, he recommended a very fantastic and doable solution. Catching them young from schools. Kids are wonderful. They're a great asset we have in our society. And not just kids, we have very intelligent kids in Anambra State. Thank God for the kind of governor as well we have. He's doing so much at education. He knows the topmost importance education plays in the society's life. So that is one very good aspect, through the kids. The other one is providing checklist. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. Okay, it's a very good and workable solution to ensuring that people imbibe a habit of safety and occupational safety and health at workplace. You have checklists 1, 2, 3, 4, which reference to your kind of institution or office. A studio like this now, you know the kind of items you deal with, electric appliances. You know places that are also available to hazards, any kind of hazard radiations, and then at the same time. You have places where people can walk in, perhaps not knowing that there's an item there. You can put some very simple information, stickers, or you put instruction signs across the walls, across your notice boards, across the entrances. People can say, oh, for example, you have a muster point. If there's a fire outbreak, you can quickly know where you muster. You have an exit. If there's a fire outbreak, you see the signs clearly. This is an exit with all the necessary symbols showing you what to do. So these are some very quick methods people can apply to ensure that all the processes of safety and health in offices, in industries, in schools, in private places, in markets even, because people think that you don't have safety in markets. Market is one area where you need to take safety topmost, yes, because everything you do in market is what goes into your tummy. You have to keep whoever is selling whatever he or she is selling, keeps his or her hands clean.
Even the environment.
The environment, yes. You clean up your environment, you keep it clean, free from mosquitoes and other things that breed in
okay, now I think we need to come home, to Anambra State. This is where we belong. This is our state. And there are so many things going on in some offices. There are some people that go to work very early. And you find out that sometimes there are no vehicles to go and pick them to go to work. And anything can happen to such people while they're going to work. And nothing is done at the end of the day. Then you see there are some people that will leave office late. And there are no provisions for vehicles to take them home at that particular point in time. So what do we say concerning some offices that don't take it, as
welfare,
something that is important to provide these basic safety measures for our workers? For instance, those people that will come early, much early, and those people that will leave office late. What do you think, or what should be done for such offices to, wake up to their responsibilities to ensure, because we're just promoting this. If there are people watching us, they may or may not, or in fact, they should learn that these are important things to take. All right, Martin?
Yeah, I may mention them, but not really. Why? Not that is where the thing lies. But I will just use it as an example. Sometimes I wonder. Okay, let me take, for instance, people working, those working in the media houses. For instance, the workers in APS, for instance. Sometimes I watch very early in the morning, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., they're already in the studio. Because sometimes I follow those things, even in the radio. I always ask myself, by what time would these people leave their house and go to work, to be in the studio? And the people will be listening to them. Or do they sleep inside the studio? I'm just using ABS for an instance. So there's something applicable to all the media houses, for instance. So I wonder, how do they do this? Okay, let me go back again, even to firefighters. They work 24 hours 7. Sometimes people wonder, how are they doing this thing? Which method or magic are they using? Maybe sometimes you see their sanitation, how would they move? There's no vehicle and so on. But I know the thing that is there is just the management. The management takes care of these things. If you look at the welfare of your workers, you must notice something. If they've already claimed, or less if they don't complain, but I know that sometimes some workers will complain, then the management will be looking at how to manage the situation. But it's critical. If you don't take the safety of your workers at hand, there will be a problem. And any of them can lose or be injured somewhere. Especially at this point, we know that a lot of things happens. A lot of things happens in different places. They need to be taken care of. And the one aspect is the management should try as much as they can to make provision, probably for 1 or 2 vehicles that can always convey them, or maybe bring them to work and take them back home. Especially those ones that come to work early as possible, or leave office as late as possible. So if that such thing is provided, I think they will not have any problem. You see workers, what workers need is just, if you care about their welfare, you see them, they will be working. They will not look back. They continue to give you a result. And that is why we are clamoring for that productivity. If you don't provide enabling environment for your workers, then don't expect anything good, because they will not work and they will not give you any reasonable result. You cannot get or find any solution. So but when you provide those things, give them an enabling environment to work. See them, workers needed to be pampered, just like wives and husbands. You pamper your wife. So the workers are just like a wife to the management. If you're able to provide those things and care for their welfare and make provision for what? Enabling environment. You see them, they will go to sky and do anything you want them to do.
All right. Now, I don't know the challenges, being faced in this area. When we talk about offices, inability to provide safety measures for her workers or health, caring for the health of our workers. What do you think are the challenges some people might be facing in this regard?
Yes, I think typically it's funding. And funding is the root of it all, but strategic funding, I must say. Because some institutions may have funds and then don't know how to really appropriate and utilize the funds for what is of priority. Workers' welfare, in delivering the best. And some big companies, they say zero LTI, zero lost time injury.
Yeah.
You need your staff or your worker to be at work 8 a.m. and close for the day at 4 p.m. You need to make facilities convenient for that worker so that he or she can be at office 8 a.m. regardless of public holiday, regardless of whatever it is. You can discuss with some public transporters. That is one option. I'm recommending one. You can discuss with public transporters, negotiate with them at a discounted rate that please, you have so and so workers in this route, so they can ensure that this person, that person, and this person at so and so time should be at the office. So please collaborate and see how you can meet that up. You can at the same time have funds for vehicles for the office. You buy a vehicle that is maintainable, vehicle that is easily accessible to every number of person, not just vehicle that are limited to population. Vehicle that is large enough to accommodate a good number of staff that you need present at as early as much as possible. At the same time, that can also convey them back home, in good health condition, back to their families. So these are just basic recommendations in that area. At the same time, government can as well lighten up when they are putting restrictions for public servants, in terms of ensuring that movement and security personnel give preference to public workers when they identify themselves, because many institutions, public workers have IDs, identifications, and with such identifications, security personnel can give some special preference, even if need be, as the case may be. You can have emergency escorts for public servants where need be, so if such is communicated and there's a robust collaboration. I think it will help workers to be at best in the office at the right time and deliver the best. He or she himself, we know within himself and herself that yes, I think my office is giving me some preference and some concessions which I'm benefiting from and I'm enjoying. And I think I should also reciprocate that gesture.
All right, Martin, are there other challenges you want to talk about before?
Not really. It's just the challenges is just within, because I always say your safety lies in your hands. So I'm telling us that most of the workers, they contribute to this. You must have to, because sometimes these things are provided by the management. But some people or some workers find it difficult to put them on for their own safety. Imagine somebody, okay, you are driving, even a government vehicle, you can't put on your seatbelt. Well, immediately you see or notice road safety officers, you start looking for it. As if to say you are putting that safety belt for them. It's not them, it's for your safety. Those things are being provided. So one of the challenges is just people adhering to simple safety rules. Once you be able to adhere to simple safety rules, you are okay, you are covered. But some workers doesn't. So it's very important that we adhere to those rules, because we have safety rules in every organization. Depending on the kind of organization where you see yourself, we have different measures of safety in those organizations. And you must try as much as you can to adhere to it. If not, you are dealing with yourself and you are causing problem to yourself. So that is the major challenge on workers. This one lies on workers in particular.
Now, when we, it's like we are dwelling more on safety, what of health, health situation of workers, whose responsibility is it to ensure that the workers are healthy, and of course, if there are needs to support, that it should be done so.
Yes, good enough. We all know that ASHA, Anambra Health Insurance, State Insurance Scheme, many of us, perhaps maybe not 100%, but a good number of persons are benefiting from such scheme. That is one area of health which the government has taken priority to see that workers perform well and give them some special concessions when they have health challenges that covers them and their loved ones. Because area of health is very vital at work, because if you're not psychologically or mentally and physically fit, I'm not sure you'll be stable when you come to work. You see all of us looking so beautifully dressed and looking, because we're healthy and we have had a very good sleep, and then we are out here to give the best to the people. So I think that area of ASHA insurance for health is one key area. And then the one which we ourselves owe to ourselves is basic hand washing. Okay. We must wash our hands. When you wash your hands, you see a mount of
and you know, during COVID, there is this thing that almost all offices learned it, putting of buckets at the entrance of the. But now all of them has disappeared. I don't know whether you're going to really talk about that, because we're talking of health here.
Yes.
You know, we only remember some things. When there's an outbreak, you know, everybody will be fighting for his or her life. I don't want to die. But as soon as there is news that this thing has disappeared, everything goes back to what it used to be. So what?
Let me tell you one thing. You see, this is will I say Nigerians for you, or should I say human beings for you? But the thing is, people remember health and safety when there is crisis. That's all. Once the crisis over, then nobody talks about it again. It's just like what I've been experiencing for years.
You know, you remember when we were much younger, when we were in primary school, these things are in school.
Yes, wash hand basin. Wash hand basin.
Once you take your exit card and
once you come back, you must have to go and wash your hands.
Before you enter,
you must wash your hands.
So what's happening?
No, it's just tradition. See, when crisis comes, just like I said, those days something must have.
No, it was, in fact, from my primary 1 to primary 6, it's there. Not
but not what I mean by something happened, because you may not know when actually that thing started, but it had been there. I met it. I met it as well. But the truth remains, something must have triggered it. But then, at a time, it stopped. Nobody knows why it stopped. The next time we saw it again is during the time of COVID, another crisis. Now it has stopped, because I remember even myself. I move everywhere with a sanitizer. But these days, you can't see it again. I can't carry it. It may be in the office. I'm not using it. It's everywhere. But the fact is, we must remember that this safety is very important for our health. If you don't care for your health, that is dangerous. One may be walking, may be a walking ghost, but you don't know. That is why sometimes you push somebody somewhere, the person will just on the ground there, and that's the end of it. Nobody is strong because of our healthy issues. There are a lot of healthy issues, and we don't know. That's why in some companies, you see, like a mention of ASHA for civil servants. Even some people doesn't even engage in that. Some people didn't even register. Some civil servants. At the end of the day, you find that they have problem, they have to rush to hospital, and they will be charged. They will be crying. But if you have that same ASHA, a lot of things will be waived out for you. Now, schools have medical centers. Why do they do that? So that if students and maybe the staffs or the lecturers, they have issue, they first of all run to that medical center for their well-being, for their health. Now, companies provide the same thing in clinics. Companies call it clinics. They have it there. That's why in some kitchens, why will you even be cooking? Your hair will be open. You must have something to cover. That is why when you are eating sometimes in some places, you see
strands of
hair inside it. So it's not supposed to. We know all these things. Let me tell you, the issue of health and safety, every one of us knows it, knows the rules, but it's just to adhere to it is the problem.
I think to expand on further, to add what he has said, I think, this tradition of if you finish, one government comes, another government comes and brings his or her own way of doing things, forgetting those important things that has been laid already. And when there's a disconnect in the structure that has been properly set, it becomes a problem. And when people now forget that phase of it, bringing it back, somebody has taken an opportunity to make out of it, and then bringing it back becomes almost impossible. But we need to have this I can do and possible, and we can make things possible. We must have such kind of spirit. We must have leaders who are committed to maintaining the norms that are good and leaving out those ones that are bad. So basically for schools that don't have access to water, good enough, the present government is bringing water to
All the schools?
All the schools. In fact, all the states, every part of the state, north, south, and central of Anambra State, we're experiencing good clean pipe-borne water now. And there are places that are still ongoing anyway to be reached at the moment. So when there's access to water, it takes care of many health challenges. It addresses enormous health challenges. And with this, I think the schools can as well be able to have a bucket or rubbers, plastic, where they can put at glasses. People can wash, and the tap is running. They can use the restroom and then flush. So these are the things that once they are put in place, it will mitigate a lot of health hazards.
All right. In case you're just dropping by, it's Good Morning Anambra show. We're looking at ensuring workplace safety in a changing world, commemorating the 2024 International Work Safety Day. And in the studio, I have Engineer Dr. Martin Abeli and Engineer Fimba Ajebu in the studio. Okay, we're going to take a short break now. When we return, we are going to look at other things like what we stand to gain or lose when we do what we ought to do or do not do what we should do at a time. After the break, do join us again.
The common hazard may be collapse of the building, maybe not placing the tools in a proper place, or not wearing the safety wears, and not taking precautionary measures. These are common hazards. Before you do anything, you have to ensure that your safety is very paramount. You have to make sure that the tools are rightly placed, that the tools are not they are not spoiled. You don't manage what shouldn't be managed. You don't manage what should be managed. That in terms of construction. When it comes in terms of someone in medical health, you equally look at the common safety issue, which should be making sure that the equipments are clean. If the equipments are not clean, definitely you are going to infect the patients there. You also make sure that the drugs you are administering is the right drug you are supposed to administer, because if not, the patient is going to suffer from it. If you look at it from the academic side, you make sure that what you are impacting on the students is what they should know, because if you teach a student what she don't know, it becomes a hazard to the society. And you make sure that the classroom area, that you don't have any items that the child may maybe play with and it will harm the child. So you have to make sure those areas are clean. So it depends on which area you're actually looking at the safety. But the most important thing is anything that has a potential, not that causes harm, but has a potential to cause harm in any workplace, you should make sure that it is appropriately removed from the working environment.
Is when onye nwe ebe ọ bụla a na-alụ ọrụ, ma ọ bụ gọọmenti ma ọ private entity or if or an organization, they make sure na in terms of like no fire breakout, again well entrance and emergency exit. Secondly, and then first aid. Thirdly, from time to time, educating and giving orientation to the staff of a particular place on safety measures.
When they are closing from their offices, closing from work, they don't off their appliances. The fuse they don't off. So there's a need for the government to create the proper awareness. Each of the respective offices should try as much as possible to put up maybe a notice pasted maybe at the entrance to each offices, so that when you are closing from work, whenever you see that notice, you can even go back and check if you off your appliances.
All right, you're welcome back to the live studios of Good Morning Anambra, where we are talking about World Day for Safety and Health at Work. Now, I think the people that spoke actually, that one should be conscious of his or her health at work and safety, that this is something that is important. How important do we say that this is in the first place?
You see, issue of safety, we can't, in fact, you can't weigh it. You can't weigh its importance. Safety is very important. In everyday society, it is. Like the motto of Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers, it will always say that, just remind me, please. Safety is the bedrock of engineering. So we're also saying that safety is the bedrock of everything everyone does, anywhere. You can't even equate it with anything, because in everyday practice, you must ensure that safety is there. If you don't apply it, it's a problem. Don't say that you didn't read safety or probably you're not an engineer, because sometimes it looks as if to say it's only engineers that knows what safety is all about. No. Those people working in studio, they are there. Those people working in library, there is safety measures there. Everything you do in this life, there are what safety measures you must what inculcate for you to survive. That is why it is very important.
All right. Can we look at our schools? You know, how safe are the schools? Because before now, we know how schools are built generally. You see classrooms, you see very big field. You know, you hardly see rails in schools. So, but now there are different people, ties everywhere. You know, compounds, you know, interlocked and everything. So, what can you say about the kind of schools we have now, and how safe our children are in those schools?
Yes. Currently, you know, you can differentiate this with. You said in those days you have the analog schools, and now you have the digital schools. You know, that's what someone will tell you. Because why I separate them this way is traditionally schools are meant to have fields for sporting activities and for recreation for pupil and students. Schools are meant to have very large classrooms for aeration, you know, for air going in and flowing. And schools are also meant to have the staff offices far away from the classrooms. So when there are other discussions and lecture rooms, classes are ongoing, schools are also meant to have potable water where you can, and toilet, where you can have such facilities away from, you know, the proper classrooms. So there are some basic things that schools should have. Space, that's inevitable for a very standard school. Currently, you have digital schools where you just have very sharp interlocking and a very neat tiling, and then beautifully adorning, you know, walls and all that. You have. Those things are good. It's not that they are not good, but at the same time, you find that such places are lacking space. They lack a playing field where kids can recreational activities. They lack, you know, classrooms that enough space. They lack, at the same time, staff room. You know, you see staff room all choked up, you know, trying to manage the space, little space they have. So I think that has also contributed to one problem of, you know, just learning. And then and now you can say with less population then and now, you have more population in tiny classrooms. And then you have population in very large classrooms. Teaching becomes something that people can understand because they can learn better, and the teachers can have access to pupils and students in the classrooms. So it has contributed not so much, you know, to the you know, safety and well-being, healthy well-being of students, because we also dynamic, you know, dynamics of life. There's a changing system where you give, and then with time people now conform with that which comes in, and then they also adapt to it and see how they can still get the best from that which is available.
All right, now the issue of safety and health at work. I don't know what we stand to gain. Martin, what are the benefits when we encourage or promote the prevention of occupational accidents and diseases? You know, when we do that perfectly, what are the benefits?
Yeah, first of all, let me tell you, in every environment, the bigger number of people working in every environment are the youth. They are. And coming back to the question you just asked, those people are on the productive side of every company, every environment. One thing safety will do, it will help to increase the productivity of any company, any office, any working area. That That is one major thing it does. Because those people who are working there, if you don't have their safety at heart, and every now and then you hear about death, injury, and so on, those people are affected. And it will still affect the productivity of that area. Nothing will move. Nothing will be produced. In fact, everything will become redundant. And it becomes a problem to any office. Imagine in a company where you come, you hear that this person machine cut his or her hand, probably something fell and they broke his or her head, or in fact, different things. Then nothing will be moving there. Everybody will be scared. Yes, everybody will be scared to work there. Everybody will be scared. Okay, let me say the issue of firefighters. That every now and then you hear that firefighters, they went to fire and probably one person got injured. The next day the same thing. Or probably there was falling wall or building on top of anybody and nobody is secured. People will be afraid to go there to do anything. So productivity is affected when there is no safety in any working environment. That is one major thing it does to everywhere, productivity. But once there's this safety culture anywhere, come and see how there will be productivity, things will be moving smoothly, and everybody will be happy. So that once you talk, you tell anybody to do anything before you know it, before you open your mouth to close it, they've already done that. So it affects productivity once it is not adhered to, but increases productivity once it is done.
Yes, to add to it, if you check very recently, there was a fire tanker explosion, right? Was it
yes.
Port Harcourt or something?
Element.
Yes, a lot of people were affected.
63 vehicles.
And perhaps there was no fire station close by. If there was, there would have been a rapid response within that place. And breadwinners would have been saved. And a lot of other properties and other things that are, of course, who knows who and who perhaps are in any of those vehicles and all that are passing by. You know the kind of roles they play in societies, their places of work. So these are the kind of things that they affect productivity massively. And then they affect also our children and many others, because some of them can become orphaned and then in the process of losing their parents, no means of furthering education, then joins the society on the negative side. And these are the adverse effects of these things that we have.
All right, now I think the government of Anambra is like what you said, trying to get water for everybody. What other suggestions do we make to the government concerning people that are working in the state to ensure greater productivity and, of course, to boost our IGR and the economy of the state? What other suggestions can we make for the government of the day?
Good. In fact, let me just say personally, I'm waiting for this. I've been waiting for it. You know why? You know why I said I'm waiting for it? Let me borrow from somewhere. There's something, in fact, I want to use this opportunity to plead to the government. There's need for safety commission in this state. Safety commission. In fact, where we have it at the moment is in, I think, Lagos. Lagos State Safety Commission. It's very important. At the federal level, we have a ministry that is in charge of safety. That is where you see the OSH, Occupational Safety and Health.
And I hope they are functional.
No, they are.
We know some ministries.
No, they are. It's under Ministry of Labor. Okay. It's under Ministry of Labor. Our former governor, who is Ngige. I think he was the minister for labor.
That's right.
So it's under that ministry that you have this issue of safety. OSH department, Occupational Safety and Health Department. It's under that ministry. And that is where you see everything. We don't have it in the state. So there should be a ministry that will be in charge of occupational safety and health. It must be somewhere. If that is not...
They'll be responsible
they'll be responsible for everything. In fact, if we can, just like we don't have Ministry of Labor in Anambra State, maybe something like, let me just, for instance, just suggestion, a Minister of Special Duties can also handle something like that. Or the government will go ahead to create Anambra State Safety Commission. In fact, this commission or the ministry will be in charge of anything about safety. If this company is not adhering to safety, then you'll be penalized. Everything, the rules will be there for them to see, and everybody must imbibe by that. So the one thing the government will also do for us in Anambra is provision of this or that, which is the ministry that will ensure safety in the state, or the provision of what this commission, safety commission in Anambra State, is very important. At least with these two, we are good to go.
Yeah, good to go.
Yeah.
All right, other suggestion?
Yes, to recall,
Okay.
he has recommended a very strategic one. Safety Commission for Anambra State is going to boost so much and will add great value to Anambra State. We also recommended that safety and health club across schools, so that our children will bring back that habit of safety and health. Because when we start this early, especially times like this, you see that productivity, you see that performances across board, from children to adults, it becomes a part of us. And then you see that the state is improved. And we set a standard that other states wish to emulate. So that's a very good one.
Oh, okay. Sorry, for your institution,
Yes.
I don't know what, have you people done this health work, or are you still going to do it?
The health work, basically on Sunday.
Last
we
Sunday?
reached just yesterday first.
Okay,
Is it?
okay.
Yes, we reached out to a number of bus stations, reached out to a number of churches. We just gave them very brief. We used the opportunity to give them a word of awareness on their safety and health in everything they do. Okay, so we made stickers and flyers we shared across, and then at the same time your office gave us an opportunity to on the radio to talk, and then adding to this as well, a lot of people are watching, so that this is platforms where we can use to collaborate with the media and collaborate with the state as well, to see that safety, which is as important as the air we breathe. That is just how important safety is in our lives. Take away the air, you're dead, you're lifeless. So it's as important as that. So we also continue to appeal that individuals can still support awareness. At the same time, we have to partner and see that we have instruction signs across various sections of Anambra State, at the transport parks, at the hospitals. Encourage them and improve that awareness is there for people's safety and well-being. Everything that is public, and especially in institutions and in public spaces, as much as possible.
All right.
That's what we do.
All right. There is something we didn't talk here,
Okay.
so I think it's important we talk about it before we wrap up the show.
Okay.
The issue of disabled people and stuff like that, and their safety in public places. There's been this people have been canvassing for them to have a special place
Ramps,
where they can
yes,
use their
yes.
wheelchairs to pass and all whatnot.
Ramps.
And there's one, when you go to all these big shopping malls, there are places you see signs that vehicles are not supposed to park there, but you see somebody go and park there because probably the person doesn't know about the signs, that this is supposed to be a space for somebody that is using a wheelchair. So, Amat, I think you have to respond to this. Are there anything being done for these special people in our society for their own sake? Because they also work in offices,
yes.
they work in ministries of Anambra State.
Yeah, in the first place, I will not say that people doesn't know. They know. That if they say don't,
and you go and park.
yes, you equally see no parking, you will still go there. But this is for disabled, you still go and park there.
Because I think they draw a sign.
Yes, there's a sign that there's always there in wheelchair. So, but you see people will just go there. And it's not out of ignorance. It's just that they want to. What will you do to them? Nothing. But one thing is this. Is in some of these areas, we have security personnel that are there. These security personnel are not supposed to, no matter what, are not supposed to allow anybody to park there. You cannot. The most important, if it is a vehicle that is carrying a disabled person, then you can allow that. But if it is not, why will you even go there to park? It's just like you hear siren, vehicles, emergency vehicles on the way, you hear siren, you see people blocking them. The next thing you hear that is the next thing you will hear. But you don't see those emergency vehicles at all times with that such siren. But once you see them, all you need to do is give them way. But they will not. So people are fond of going against the rule, especially the safety rules. So what we needed to do is, one, to sensitize more and train more those maybe security personnel that are within the environment, so that they will know the essence of this, and not to allow at any vehicle at all time. It's just like also people that they sell the what do you call them, pump operators in the filling station. You must know that any vehicle the ignition is still on, that you are not supposed to sell any petrol to that person. You must switch off. You must switch off before that thing can, because if you allow it, the next thing, it will result to another fire outbreak inside that place. Because the fire, the petrol is there, the exhaust pipe can also cause the fire. So you must know. That is the essence of training and sensitization. Once these people are captured, those people working there, then all those other ones, we are good to go.
All right, I believe there is room for enlightenment and more enlightenment on our people, so we can learn and of course imbibe these things as a culture. I would like to thank you so much, Engineer Dr. Martin Abwele, for being here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for inviting us.
We also thank you, Engineer Fimba Ajebu. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it on Good Morning Anambra show for today. We appreciate you for watching. Let's do this again tomorrow. It's a goodbye from here.
Una disclaimer, una bomba.